Hi, everybody. I'm Gio Gallo. I'm co-CEO of Compliance Line, and I'm super excited to be a part of Tweezzle Talk TV to help you and I go on a journey of growth together to figure out how we can build more ethical cultures and build stronger compliance, governance, and risk programs. Researching the industry and kind of trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up, I realized that companies that have a great compliance and ethics program not only outperform on objective metrics like growth and profitability and things like that, but they make the lives of their employees better. And it's really an exciting thing for me to be able to support the leaders of millions of employees around the world every week and every day that I come into work, helping them take care of their employees and helping them live a safer, better engaged, and more thriving work environment. And that's what we really live for here at Compliance Line. So I run this company with my brother. We were, children of an immigrant. We grew up understanding that in America there's something called upward mobility, and if you treat people right and you work hard, you can really make a difference, and you can also take care of other people in the process. So my parents were entrepreneurs. They ran their own business as they were growing up. And my brother and I thought, hey, what if we learned how to run a business well and we ran a business the right way? This thing has kind of come along called conscious capitalism and balanced scorecard and looking out for your customers and your employees and your shareholders and your community. And that always just seemed like the right way to do it. So here at Compliance Line, that's how we live every day. We try to balance that as much as we can, and we deliver our service to the world through doing whistleblower hotlines. We do workplace investigations. We have case management software and a bunch of online reporting tools and web apps and things like that. We do sanction screening and PEP screening and background checks, and e-learning as well. And what we're on a mission to do is try to figure out how we can help leaders who actually care about their employees take better care of their employees, build a more ethical culture, and ultimately build a strong, unique culture within their community so that everyone that works there can bring their talents to bear and make a positive impact on the world. That's how we do it here at Compliance Line with our internal team. And part of what I'm here to do with Tweezzle is to make that contribution to you, to help you learn, and so that we can go along this journey of growth so that we can each take better care of our employees, of our company, and our community. Hey, so I want to talk about this thing that I experienced as I got more entrenched in ethics and compliance. And I think that everyone on the face knows, hey, it's an issue. You got to make sure people don't do bad things. But I think a lot of us also have this sense that, most people are good people. And, yes, we got to do it, but, it's probably not that bad. Well, maybe I'm naive, but I was really kind of blown away as I got behind the curtain. We run whistleblower hotlines here. So, part of my focus on quality is listening to calls and, understanding what we're reporting on behalf of our clients. And I am just, continually shocked by the how brazen people are, how mean people can be to other people, how blatantly someone can be in violation of the rules. And I think to myself sometimes, wow, that's crazy. Why would he think that he would get away with that? And then I also realized, oh, well, he did get away with it for 3 or 4 years before it finally came to light. And I think that dissonance can be largely due to two things. One can be, hey, you know what? I care about this. I'm a good person. I try to do right. I may go 2 or 3 miles above the speed limit, but I don't do any of this kind of gross negligence type stuff. So we may, project that onto other people. But really a big thing that is a big part of it is if you don't have the visibility into your organization to understand really how many things are going wrong, then you have this big delay where you may not find out about anything until it's in a lawsuit or it's in an expose in the news or something like that. Or you may just not ever find out about it at all because someone's life just gets ruined and they figure no one's going to care about them or take care of it. And they just kind of move on and try to lick their wounds. But I think that as ethics experts, it's on us, whether it's KYC or AML or just basic, sexual harassment or ethics or something like that. It's on us to make sure that we are the leading edge and make sure that we are doing everything we reasonably can to find out about misbehavior, to correct it, and most importantly, to prevent it by building a strong culture and building a culture of ethics and integrity so that stuff is not even acceptable in the first place. And that's something that I continually remind myself about as I experience the things that we get reported to our hotline, the things we find on our sanction screening and our PEP screening and things like that. Is that there's a lot of misbehavior and bad stuff out there. And it's not just the stuff you see in the headlines. There's a bunch of stuff just as bad or worse than what gets in the headlines that never comes to light unless you're actually looking for it. So that drives me forward every day to be the best ethics expert that I can be and to do what I can to lead the way in a strong compliance program into building a culture of ethics. Hey, so everyone is talking these days. It's on all the reports and the state of the industry stuff, insight in analytics. And there's kind of a dark and a bright side of it, right? The dark side of it can be you're kind of sold a bill of goods, or someone shows you a really nice formatted report, but it takes so much to get it configured, and it actually weighs you down to try to get this fancy thing that you could have just done and gotten the same answer with before. But when it works right, and this is what you have to be careful of to make sure that you implement a tool that works right, it can really leapfrog you to a place where you're moving from kind of the process and reporting to the strategic advancement, where instead of you only have a certain amount of time before the board meeting or for your monthly report. If it takes all that time to get your report together, then you're just going to say, okay, here's where we are. We're 10% better than last month or last quarter or whatever. Whereas, if you have 3 hours or 3 days to prepare for something, if your insights and analytics are more kind of out of the box, off the shelf, ready for you, then you can start looking into that, doing a drill down, digging into it, and then figuring out, okay, I never would have seen this if I hadn't dug into this, but here's a hot spot for my risk. And that's something that we're really passionate about. And I think that as the frontier of technology and really strength and cogency with using these tools advances, we're going to become even better at as an entire profession. One example of this in one way was, we ran some analytics this past year for our first annual benchmark report. So we got over 5 million employees around the world reporting into our hotlines and, covering over 1,000 companies and all of this stuff. And we started looking into it, and we had, helped companies look at it individually or done kind of a regional or industry comparison. But we saw some really interesting things about the people who ran a kind of full wraparound compliance program closed their issues faster and substantiated their reports at a higher rate, and had some proof that they built stronger trust over time by either having getting more reports of people being more transparent about things, or even their anonymity rate going down because people said, okay, I trust you not to retaliate against me. I will, I'll report and, help you figure out this issue. So that was just one example that when we put the effort in to scale our insight and analytics across our customer base, and we've shared it with the world as well, we realized that you can really kind of take a step beyond the how am I doing to really take a look at how can I make this better and get to that strategic lever that all of us as ethics experts know that we can be. But really, if we're going to make that difference, we need to lead into it instead of being, waiting to be invited into it. And if you have a good partner in your vendor, on your team, or in a tool that can help you get those data and analytics faster, it needs to not be just just kind of a flashy graph. It needs to drive you thinking more clearly and more in depth about the things that you're managing. And when you do that, you'll see that you level up, and it's really more fun and more interesting to dig into it and find answers rather than just report some stats. So, have you heard of this cool new thing? It's called AI, artificial intelligence. Of course, you've heard about it. Everyone's talking about it. A lot of people are lying about it, and they say they have AI, and it's really just a search function or something like that. But this is finally making its way from the fancy world of self-driving fighter jets or self-driving cars, and chatbots and things like that, into things where we as ethics experts and compliance professionals can really transform the way that we do our work. So there's some concern, well, hey, are the robots going to come take all of our jobs? It's my position, and we're launching this AI-based web form to do investigations, to do very specific elicitation interviews, and I'm really excited for the way that this can transform not only intake into the process, but also transform the way that investigations in the workplace are informed across a really wide range of issues. What I've seen from this, from digging into this partnership and digging into this technology, is as we can properly implement artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all the things that go around with it, that go around it, we're going to realize that properly implemented AI doesn't take our job away from us. It allows us to do the most important and most fulfilling parts of our job. So there's going to be a human piece of it that is always going to be necessary for us as compliance leaders to do, and that's the being a human, having empathy, integrating some of the stuff, figuring out the answer that's not clear from the analytics and things like that. And if we can leverage technology and the power of artificial intelligence to get the first part of a job done, that is that boring trudgery of I got to compile these data and I got to put this report together, or I have to go through these 15 things to kind of compile them. When we can use the power of technology to get that kind of rote mechanical work done, then we can use our minds and we can use our hearts and we can use the best skills that we have available to us to be the most human compliance leaders that we can. And the complement of artificial intelligence with your expertise that you're growing and you have experience and perspective that can't be put into a machine, that is what's really going to elevate our profession forward and allow us to be in a place where we can inform our culture, where we can inform integrity, and where we can manage risk for our entire organization in ways that we never thought of before. I'm really excited about it. Okay, now that that's done, your next assignment is to go to Tweezzle.com. You got to check it out. There's a bunch of content on there, and there are a bunch of different ways, engaging formats, really excellent content, and some other excellent instructors that can help you further your career and be a better compliance, ethics, and integrity professional. What you got to do, you got to hit the like button. And then make a quick comment, because let's interact. Let's get a discussion going, because that's really going to change the game here. And then hit subscribe so then you don't even have to look for it again. Check it out.